Okay, so I don't know. Oh, it's 8:20. Whatever that means. There really is no time. I have had many very, very interesting experiences where Jesus has shown me his ability to control space and time. Now remember, the clocks are part of what is within space and time, and everything's under his control. Um, and I don't know how to explain this to you, but if you can let go of the idea, this is for you people who don't think there's enough time in a day to do what you think you need to do, because you think what you need to do takes time rather than willingness, especially when what you are doing is God's will and in alignment and for the purpose of fulfilling your function in God's plan for salvation. Time is made for that. Time is made to serve that purpose. That's the true purpose of time. And left under the control of Jesus, there's nothing that you couldn't do and are unable to do simply by the willingness, because the entirety of space. You understood the nature of the illusion, and I could see it for what it was. You would understand this perfectly well, and you would laugh at the idea that you would. This is yesterday's lesson in a sense. You would laugh at the idea. You would laugh at yourself and the ideas that you had before. And in the recognition of how totally and completely wrong you've been, you would achieve a state of humility which would never allow you to believe or, in a sense, feel credible when you're interpreting separate from anything or perceiving. So you would simply laugh at that idea. Then you would be, in a sense, you would be positioned within the true self and understand what it is that's going on in a particular way. And that's basically what this lesson is trying to say. Fear is not justified. 240. Don't take it to say, please. When I saw this lesson and I knew I was going to do it, I was grateful for a couple of reasons. Number one is, it says fear is not justified in any form. It does not say you're not going to be fearful, you're not going to experience fear. As a matter of fact, it says you are going to experience fear, and this course takes you directly to the heart of your fears, but gives you not only an experience, but a way to utilize your mind that is associated with the experience of reality, rather than a way to utilize your mind that is associated with death. And when you remember that consciousness is a condition of forgetting, you will no longer forget what there is to remember about the unreality of the illusion and the reality of who you are beyond the illusion of space and time and the form that you seem to be utilizing to fulfill your function in God's plan for salvation. So fear is not justified in any form. And why isn't it justified in any form? It's not justified in any form because there is no form that's real, and that's what it's going to come to say here. And because you are perfect, whole, and beyond the capability of experiencing fear and the reality which you created, and the reality which you cannot be separate from right here and right now, simply because your reality is love. And there is no fear in the eternal, infinite, totally abundant, and I'm not even going to say unconditional, because the idea of unconditional establishes the fact that there could have been a condition put on it. There's no possible condition put on anything because it's singular and whole. Fear is deception. It's interesting that we're doing this lesson because the next, and we're still operating under the auspices, under the wings of salvation, while we look at fear in any form and contemplate what salvation would mean in the light of fear in any form. So we have something to consider reasonably in our mind to help us translate fear from what it used to be and the experiences it used to cause us to have into just another experience that we can be a passerby of, not lose track of what we need to remember and the lesson we need to impose upon ourselves, not lie to ourselves and be dishonest as to the fact that we're fearful, but allow our mind to utilize the moment of fear in a new way and help us to understand rather to stay unconscious or to forget our true purpose here and just simply attempt to justify the fear. That's all that happens. Fear is deception. We attempt to justify something that's not justifiable. Do not feel the fear. Do not intellectualize it. Don't spiritualize it. Allow it as an experience to exist within the totality of consciousness, wherein which all perspectives of unreality or illusion seem to be. In other words, don't resist. How does Jesus attempt to teach us? Resist not temptation, resist not evil. The attempt to resist temptation and evil is what makes it real in your mind and forms a lot. It's like a cyst forms that you have to go back and revisit. Fear is deception, and it attests that you have seen yourself as you could never be. That's what I was trying to say. When you know yourself as you are, perfect and whole as God created you, and you know that that is only love and all love, then fear would be an attempt to be something that you are not. That's it. It doesn't mean anything more than that. Don't give the feeling more weight than it has within the new perspective you're attaining in each day's right search and achieving of right-minded thinking as we pursue these lessons. Not one thing in this world is true, period. Not one thing in this world is true, period. Isn't that a relief? When you first hear from me, you're going to say, wow, what a relief. Then you're going to start to think about some of the things, and giving them reality in your mind is going to foster your ability to feel guilt. Now, don't resist that. Utilize it as what is coming up from the unconscious in order to be healed. You're giving your unconscious the space and time through non-resistance and non-repression, the ability to bring up everything in it that needs all the false ideas you've been hiding from yourself and lying about. That nothing in this world is true. Has the chance to come up. You can recognize them as your ideas. Feel what they have done to you in your heart. Decide that you no longer like that feeling that is associated with the idea. Now you'll see how your heart and mind can operate in unison, and in service to your soul, you can allow the Holy Spirit to replace that. And I think it's going to say something like that. It witnesses, it does not matter what the form in which it may appear. It witnesses but to your own illusions of yourself. Let us not be deceived today. Let us not be deceived today. We are the Son of God. That's why the fear is deception, and it attests to that you have seen yourself as you could never be. Fear is not justified in any form. Okay. Fear is not justified in any form. It witnesses but to your own illusions about yourself. That's it. Period. Now, don't give the experience of fear more weight than it has, or more meaning than it has here, because you will tumble back into it and let fear engulf you. And fear is forgetting in that sense. And you don't have to. You could just use it as a wall. Oh, I ran into a wall. It's time to that's what this is about, and turn around. Let us not be, we're the Son. We are the Son of God. There is no fear in us for we are each a part of love itself. I think that's, we've been talking. How foolish are our fears? See, there it is. We're allowance for that. We need to begin to learn to laugh at the ideas of fear. We need to begin to allow fear to occur and laugh at the fear so that we can train our mind to laugh at that tiny mad idea when we've finally freed ourselves from the ability to give fear meaning that it doesn't, so that Jesus, who's in control of space and time, can help us into a situation that allows everything to be on the line. And in the moment we can see in the entirety of in one decision, what we did to ourselves, everything will align and converge. You will laugh instead of remembering not to laugh. You will remember to laugh, and you will awaken to a reality. And then you'll understand totally. And that integration, and you'll begin to integrate that in joy, you'll be a happy learner. Okay? Let us forgive him in your name, that we may understand his holiness. Exactly. Our wholeness. We can understand our wholeness, not the fragmented nature of the personality that we think that exists in space and time, simply because fear causes us to forget the truth of who we are and deceive ourselves into thinking we are something that we're not. You don't have to fear your fear. This is Regina. Finally, she got the message. Don't fear your own fear. Stop fearing your fear. Okay? Feel the love for him that is your own.